Hi everybody, this is Colin with Markers and Monsters, and welcome to a very special episode where I've got my first guest. That's Nathan.
That's me.
Nathan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, well, as the first Markers and Monsters guest, my name is Nathan Pincinel, and I do comic books mostly.
Yeah?
Me and my wife do 819 Comics, where we have our first superhero series, Mr. Marsh. We're working on a new one called Zira Cosmic Queen Ghost Hunter. And through that, we met Mr. Colin Richards here.
Yeah, that's me. So Nathan came up with this harebrained scheme in October that we were going to do what's called B-Ware Double Feature, which was a ton of fun. And what it was every week we rolled some dice, and it generated B-movie titles, like fake B-movie titles. And then we had to draw that. So whatever we rolled, we got. And we wanted to chat with you about it today, show off some of this art. If you don't follow myself or Nathan on Instagram, that's where these were all posted.
And Facebook as well.
Facebook as well, yeah. Yep. So let's get right to it, man.
Sure.
You made this, you came up with this scheme, and you made this list. We had talked about it, but I really feel this was your baby. You put all this together. How'd that all come together, in your head?
Well, bunch of things actually. I was familiar with Drawloween and other Inktober challenges. Do a drawing a day, which were a lot of the Markers and Monsters videos I saw, and I attempted it one year. It was crazy, brutal, especially if you're just trying to get one done a day. Yeah. On top of a whole week. So I thought to myself, what if there was a challenge where it was just once a week?
Right.
And I thought to myself, B-movies, they're the crux of Halloween almost. If you look at any horror movie, they have their roots, their genesis in B-movies. So I thought to myself, what if we came up with our own? What if we had our own take on a B-movie that never existed and have a double feature night? Because everyone loves a double feature.
Yeah, exactly. So. You pay for one ticket, you get twice the madness.
It's amazing what you can get for just one little price.
Yep.
And then, so we thought of a couple scenarios. I looked at Goosebumps books. I looked at old Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode titles, and I just sort of put them all in a melting pot, and then I came up with, you came up with actually a system of, just devising how we would randomize it each week, dice rolls and everything.
Yeah, the role player in me was ooh, dice and charts.
This was
let's do that.
True random in the sense. So we were working with the elements, the fate of whatever we would roll. And every Friday night, you would see what we would come up with.
Yep. Yeah, we announced them on Tuesdays, and then we put them out on Friday.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work too. When I first started rolling them, oh my god, what am I gonna do? But I like every one, all 8 that we did. They turned out great.
They did.
So,
I liked them a lot. Yeah. But we want to start with yours.
Let's get into week 1, where I randomly rolled up a night at Boo Beach. And I love surfing. I love tiki stuff. I initially kind of thought of a concept of Ghost at the Beach, or I thought about Ghost Beach from Goosebumps, and that kind of phantom-y. And once I sat down and just started drawing and getting it out, I'm dude, I'm gonna I love zombies and horror, bones and guts, and so I came up with this. Here's the original Night at Boo Beach. And, as you can see here, we've got this awesome, zombie dude. He's got the puka shell necklace.
I love the spine that's left over from the
he ripped off this dude's head. We got this beach babe getting, grabbed. I don't know. I had such a ball with this one. Just putting all this random stuff together. I love drawing gravestones and skeletons and a haunted lighthouse. So it was great.
So while you were drawing it, did you have sort of a plot working out when you were doing this?
Yeah, of course, man.
Tell us a little bit about that.
These teens go for a party near this haunted beach, because all the beaches are getting crowded because of overpopulation, and the garbage flow washing up on our shores. Very environmental message I have. And,
with a message.
With a message, folks.
There you go.
And so, right, these teenagers are all like, dude, we need a private beach we can get a party on. And the only private beach is this, like, beach cemetery with an old, spooky, haunted lighthouse. Nobody goes there. It's on this lost coast. And they get there and the waves are just crashing, man. But they learn why nobody goes there. And there's these, like ghostly, all the surfers who died there and were buried are coming back from the dead. And just this pure B-movie nonsense. There's tons of nudity in this. Like, the violence is off the charts. I'd like a part where maybe some guy's surfing and like maybe a zombie shark comes out of the water and like bites his guts out, or just something ridiculous like that would be.
I think you already made this movie in your head.
In my brain, it's
you
happening.
just have to get like some externalization device just to get it on the screen.
Well, and that's why we did these.
Exactly.
So let's go to yours, man.
All right. Well, my first week, I rolled, of all things, The Girl That Walks at the Witching Hour, or The Girl Walks at the Witching Hour. Mm-hmm. Right here we have sort of a weird hybrid of a thriller, slasher, kind of. I kind of guessed, like, sort of, it was about trying to catch a killer through either a ghost late at night, and it all took place at night. It was like this main character, I named her Nora. Mm-hmm. She's modeled after Joanne Frank from the Outer Limits episode Zzz.
The B one?
The B one,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I chose that one. That was just the episode in my head that day.
No, that's a good episode.
That's a great episode. I really like that one. And then the Witching Hour sort of conjured up like this idea of this sort of like walking at midnight type kind of motif. And originally the killer was supposed to have like a moon face design.
Yeah.
I was not happy with any of my designs at all. Like it was going into Zelda territory, and I'm just like, no, this isn't working out for me. So I randomly just looked up like Witching Hour stuff, and a goat skull came up.
See, I love it because when you first announced, I'm like, what is he gonna do? Like, I lucked out with Boo Beach, but I don't know what the hell. But when you showed that and I saw that skull, I'm like, that is perfect up there. I'm so intrigued. And I want to know what's going on. So, what's going on in this flick?
So, this is the only one I came up with a tagline for. It's Nora has to find this murderer, and the only way to do it is from his last victim. And so, on one night, she has to, at the same time, avoid and also capture this madman who may have cult dealings. We don't know what. The Witching Hour brings out a lot of a lot out in us, and I feel like in the night with the woods and everything, that's definitely one of the scariest places you could find yourself in. And I wanted to go with like a hatchet axe sort of, because we don't see that as much as we do in movies nowadays. It's always a butcher knife. And I thought, well, let's do something a little more
old camping axe, wood cutting axe. I love it. So,
and if you don't know this by now, I love drawing women that don't have eyes, that they're just sort of glowing and just zombie-like, I guess is what you call it.
That's all good, man.
So there we are. The Girl Walks at Midnight.
Nice big 11 by 17. So week 2, you want me to go or do you want to go?
You go first.
Week 2, and this is my original, and you'll see some differences, but I got The Thing from Beneath the Floorboards, which I was very excited about.
I was very excited about that.
So I did. This is the original, and we'll throw up then to the finished image where I put in the text and the black background, but I don't know. I just went nuts drawing this thing.
Yeah.
Like, when I think...
What is the Thing from Beneath the Floorboards?
When I think Thing, I think this, like, amalgamation of, like, weird junk. Like, it's... What was the Godzilla movie that in the U.S. they were titled Godzilla versus the Thing? Was that Godzilla Mothra?
That was Mothra.
Yeah, and Mothra is not a thing. She's clearly a moth being. So
apparently, U.S. never saw a moth before, so they were like, "It's a thing."
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
When I think thing, I think you can't describe it or really get, I don't know. So I drew with all the teeth. I love a big creature with, instead of sharp teeth, it's got those flat teeth, like those gnashing teeth, because that would hurt, I think, a lot more to get your arm pulverized rather than bit.
I feel like that's a scene you've already worked out.
On
some
my head.
horrible chomping action.
All kind of eyeballs. There's tons of little detail in there, like all the little eyes it's got all over it.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Kind of show gothy.
Anything with the bumps and, the stalks with an eye at the top. Really good.
Lovecrafty. So just bursting through the floorboards, and it was a lot of fun to do. It was a lot of fun to just go wild,
Do you feel like the thing is from a different planet or originated on Earth?
Ooh, I kind of love the idea of it being a mystery, like you never know. And I'd love to drop hints through there, like maybe there was a comet a couple nights before this thing showed up and ate your parents. Or maybe there's some, like, the toxic sludge refinery. Like, both of them are in the movie, so you never are sure where it came from,
Or transmitted through a television signal via an alien dimension.
Yes, exactly. The parents are weird swingers. They got the craziest house you've ever seen. Chef's kiss.
Beautiful.
So, let's go now.
Alrighty. Well, for my entry, I rolled The Robot and the Forbidden Basement. Now this one, oh boy, this one I kind of went way deep into movie lore and sort of wanted to do like a sort of Invaders from Mars, Johnny Agar, that's the name, right? Type of B movie where, I don't know, you just have this kid disobeying his parents, like we all should at some point.
Yeah, like you do.
Yes, and looking into the Forbidden Basement. And what is in the Forbidden Basement? A robot from who knows where, and he's let loose. Oh boy. It's not good, but I also went with stocks. I realized when I was looking at this, I asked my wife, what should I do in terms of the robot? Because I really literally had no idea what this robot was going to look like. And she said, go as less human as possible with this thing. Do not give it arms, do not give it legs, just have it be this weird contraption. And so I went for sort of a Robbie the Robot / tentacle Invaders from Mars again type kind of deal. And I put tentacles with eye stalks at the end of it. And this basically finished it for me. I was like, that's it. Perfect. This is what it needs to be. And I'm a big fan of floating heads, so you'll see that a lot in my work. And for some reason I put him having a metal hand.
It's a nice touch. It's intriguing.
Oh yeah, it's something where what was this Forbidden Basement meant for? Like some kind of experiment that went completely wrong, I believe.
Now I love the 50s style. He's like grabbing onto her and she's frightened. This metal hand has intrigued me because I've been wondering, like, did he start with that? Is he an inventor, or did he get that from the basement? Like, it's somehow like, you know how in Superman 3 that woman gets robotized? Like,
that's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. Scared me to death as a kid.
Oh yeah, no, it's
good.
That was kitty nightmare fuel, basically. Yeah. So I had sort of a sense that in some ways it was like the movie A Conquered the World, or where they're receiving like alien signals and sort of communing with the alien presence in a way. And I thought, what if this alien species like shared technology in a way, and maybe, just maybe, he needed an extra hand.
Maybe he did.
So that could have been a long time communion between the scientist and the wife. And they're just like, you know what? Let's not involve our kid in this. Let's be responsible parents. And of course, the kid is not responsible at all. And that's what makes a great B movie, folks.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So we want to do some week 3.
Week 3. Okay.
Week 3.
So this, I have to admit, was kind of a bunt for me. During week 3, I was on vacation at the beach with my wife for our anniversary. So I kind of had
happy anniversary, by the way.
Well, thank you very much, and to you too.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, Nathan's anniversary is the day after mine, right?
Very much so. Yes,
yeah,
like
right
after it.
It's crazy.
Didn't plan it, folks. That's how it goes. We roll the dice.
Before I met you, I'd been married for like 8 years, so it just happened that way. But that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, anyway, week 3. the brain from the Lost Planet was kind of a bunch. So here's my original. As you can see, it's way smaller.
I did not know it was this size, folks. It looked that epic.
Yeah, done with mostly marker, the black marker, and I just got this idea of this big brain eating up. I didn't know what I was going to do.
I felt like the silhouette and the shadow really played well with the imagination. Like, it could be anything within that brain. It could be bird beaks. It could be little tiny people. You never know. It could be a whole mothership. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it was very effective atmospheric-wise.
I kind of wanted to go with that movie poster image of, like, the 50s, like, where they don't show you what the monster is, and they make the threat way bigger than it ever is in the actual movie or anything, you know, and it's so it kind of gets your imagination going, and then gussied it up in on the computer, and
they're okay.
You all right?
We're good.
And then away it goes, you know, like just so just get in, get it done, get out. My initial thought was, and maybe I'll do this another time, is like a barbarian planet, right? With like space barbarians and like Martian type princesses and stuff. And there's this huge brain that like controls everything on the planet, except these barbarian wasteland space warriors armed with axes and laser guns are the rebels out to fight it. Like that kind of cheesiness. But
the brain from the Lost Planet coming soon from Colin Richards.
Yeah, but that's not what I did. I did something completely different.
It works.
It is what it is.
The form of the B movie was that a lot of the B movie posters you'll see back in the day operated on no budget, unlike the movie. Yeah. So you could come up with the greatest images ever. The Beast with a Million Eyes, or Terror from the Year 5000. It's like, you could come up with the grandest scene in your mind. And of course, nothing in the movie is going to match it because they didn't have that budget.
Yeah.
But that's why these posters last, because they really show the passion of these guys.
Yeah, you can look at something, you're right, like Beast with a Thousand Eyes, or even like the Monster of Piedras Blancas. Doesn't have the best poster, but like you never see the monster in that movie until the very, very end. And so you see that poster, you can just make up whatever. And, so
makes the imagination worthwhile just to see.
So hit me, I'm excited about this one.
Oh yes, this one was actually probably a lot of fun for me because I knew exactly what I wanted to do with this as soon as I found out what the title was. The Village versus the Were Spider. Oh my. So I knew right from the get-go I wanted to do sort of a transformation scene on paper. I knew this was what people wanted to see. They wanted to see, how does a human turn into a spider? Even I was curious. So this was the result. And of course, this was the weird thing about this. When I sat down to draw this, I had no clue until I put pencil to Bristol board. It was going to be a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Originally, it was going to be a guy, sort of the Bruce Banner type kind of thing. I'm like, well, that's been done before.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, why not a woman? And then all throughout the process, I thought to myself, wow, okay, women and spiders actually have a lot of connections. I mean, look at the Black Widow.
Yeah.
That's an obvious reference right there. Arachne from Greek mythology.
That's true.
It's another thing. And it's one of those, like, movies, like, you don't see it all the time. Like, I was watching The Wolfman while I was doing this, and then it occurred to me, like, what about the Hammer movie, The Reptile?
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Reptile, where you have a snake woman, and then you have the wasp woman. Like, there's a lot of movies in the past that have dealt with, women changing into elemental creatures that are very, very scary, very grotesque. And so, with this, I just showed the transition, and very much went into I wanted her to have 8 eyes. I knew it. So I made sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are 8 eyes on this one, folks.
And they're all blank, those blank eyes you were talking about.
Love those blank eyes. There could be anything in that. That's what makes it very menacing. And then I experiment a little with silhouettes, and I had to get that village in there because I was focusing so much on the Were Spider. I'm like, oh yeah.
There's a village.
So there is a village back there, folks. And
nice.
I, to this day, will always think webbing is the most difficult thing to get right.
It's a pain in the butt.
It is. I don't know how Spider-Man gets drawn every day with this kind of webbing. It's difficult because there is an art to it. There's an intricate design, and more or less, this was just like a innocent woman being persecuted for being something other. And I thought, well, that's a movie right there.
That's a movie.
So this one was one of my favorites to do, and I'm hoping my wife is going to be coloring these very soon.
Oh,
here.
cool!
So we're looking forward to some color versions of all these poster prints as well. So, The Village versus the Were-Spider, folks, coming to a theater sometime.
In your brain.
In my beautiful brain, yes. All right, week 4.
All right, week 4.
Wrapping up.
I got Revenge of the Mummy's Bride, which I was very excited about. I didn't have a ton of time to devote to this one, but here's my original. There we go.
Nice.
And yes, it's got a sweet, sexy mummy lady getting some revenge with the dagger. It's got I had to draw a mummy carrying some girl out, pyramids and stuff like that. And I just kind of want to make it pretty impactful, almost like a comic book cover with the big, and looking over. So
with the moon and everything.
Exactly.
Love it. So what time period would you say this story mostly takes place in?
See, I thought about originally having it be like the Mummy, like it's set contemporary, and but then I thought, wouldn't it actually be kind of cool? You never see this if it was set completely in ancient Egypt, something like that. Or like the late period. So you've already got tons of mummies that have been buried there for, hundreds, perhaps 1,000 years. And I don't know, maybe it's like the end of a dynasty, and this woman, her husband is the pharaoh. He's killed or something like that. So he gets turned into a mummy. She's the mummy's bride, of course. And now she's out like lusting after power, like a Cersei Lannister.
I could see that.
It could be that, or it could be your prototypical mummy movie set now or whenever, but that it's female led. Like the mummy in it is maybe just like a pawn of this woman to be used to get revenge or something like that.
Mummies usually fall under that category, sort of a bid the master return type kind of deal.
Or maybe she's looking for, like, she's lived for how many thousands of years, but she's got an Elizabeth Bathory thing where she's got to drink like women's blood to live, and so she sends out this mummy to go fetch them, and she, like, I don't know, drains their blood and like that drinks it. So it's almost a vampire thing.
These movies are writing themselves. Like literally, you could make these movies today. It would happen. So.
I would.
Oh, totally. I mean,
but it was fun to do, and I love Egyptian stuff. I wish I'd had more time to go full crazy with it, and that's how I feel after all 4 of mine. Like, I'm like, man, I wish I could sit down and just do more with it. Because it was fun. But
every idea we had, I felt like it could continue in some way. Like, these were making stories out of almost nothing, and then it was like fun just to see.
So hit me with yours.
Alrighty, last but not least, this one was a weird one when I rolled it, and I honestly had some ideas, but I rolled. What we have here is Attack at the Devil High Dance.
I was so excited when you rolled that. I was hoping, I was wanting to get Devil High Dance.
Oh, really? Okay.
At one point I got Walks at Midnight, and I scrapped that because I didn't want any duplicates with this one.
Sort of.
Because there was like, ideas. 40 on there? Like, so... And we're only doing 8.
We thought of a lot, folks. We were working with a lot of material. So
I love this one, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, this one, oddly enough, might be my favorite.
Okay.
I bet you didn't expect that. But.
I wasn't sure, because this one, I think I put probably the most time out of all of them into it, because I knew I wanted to do like a full sort of Breakfast Club. This is how it went. Like, I went totally 1980s horror on this one, and I thought, I need a lineup. I need, like, students. And so... This one, it took time because I knew there was going to be a floating devil up in the sky. And this was actually modeled after the devil character from Edward D. Wood Jr.'s classic Glen or Glenda. So I Very good, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
So I did some work on making sure the high school was sort of I took Hill Valley High from Back to the Future. It's sort of the quintessential high school you could look at in film. And I thought, okay, let's have like a bunch of women dressed for the prom, just standing in the midst of this chaos. And I'm thinking, okay, I gotta put like a threat here, so there's like silhouettes of zombies all around here. Everything's in flames and whatnot. And then my wife was like, you should add more dead bodies. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you can look here closely, we have some dead cadavers right there.
I didn't even notice that before.
It was one of those things. I wanted it to be very subtle. Like, people were just like, what is the danger? What is the threat? Like, it could be zombies, possession. You don't know, but I mean, in my head, I thought to myself, what is the story of this? And I did finally come up with one, but it wasn't until after.
I'm excited to hear this, because we'll talk. Go ahead.
All right, so I nicknamed this guy Devil Daddy. There's a story behind it. So what happens is the devil's daughter, rebellious in her way, just wants to have fun, just wants to dance.
Yeah.
And of course, what does she do? She goes to the dance, she has a good time, and Daddy has an issue with that. So, Daddy decides to unleash hell on earth at Devil High. And that's sort of the premise. There's more coming, trust me, but I'll keep that mystery.
I love it.
But that's it. The devil's daughter goes to a dance, and all hell literally breaks loose.
Okay, I love that even more, but I have to say, when you were saying you got I didn't get the 80s at all from this. I was thinking that this was, and this is what I like, is the ability to interpret. This is like a 70s. To me, it said the 70s, like the Carrie era. And I loved that, you got all these women out. What's the story? This one looks like Carolyn Monroe. I'm a big Carolyn Monroe fan.
There you go,
yeah. All right.
There were some influences.
And then, everybody standing up in the high school. It looked very 70s to me. And that's a time period that I love for, like, horror and exploitation movies that you don't see as much. So I was thinking, like, Massacre at Central High or something like that. I totally get that it could be the 80s too, but to me it just, everything about this screamed 70s. And I didn't even think zombies for these people. I was thinking that possession role. So now that you say that with that, I love your story, and it could work in either time period or whenever.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will go to prom.
Yeah. That's the tagline. Oh man, did you write that down?
I did not. I just
get a pen.
Yeah, here we
write
go.
That
okay,
down.
This is going down. But totally have the 70s vibe to it, like that title, like screamed like a timeless age. And I thought to myself, like, we had like a 60s influence, 70s influence, 80s influence. I threw in a little B-52s there, and they're kind of all over the map. First time I ever did a beehive hairdo. I mean, they're fun to do, folks.
No, this totally could work for the 80s, because you've got like Prom Night, Hello Mary Lou, Prom Night 2 was a great 80s prom movie. Yeah. Breakfast Club, like you said, got that high school vibe. But now this is the one that I don't know why, just it's my favorite of the ones you've done. And I have no idea why. Like, they're all good, but this one just jumped out at me, and it's like, it's so unique. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a very unique title, and it could have conjured up so many possible scenes in my head. And of course, what did I want to draw? A devil with zombies or demonic possessed on top of a high school with women dressed in nice dresses.
Hot prom babes.
There you go. Yeah. So that's all you really want out of a movie sometimes.
That's it, man.
So thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed this.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. I dig it.
All right. So what is the future of B-Ware? This is the first time we've ever done it, and it's definitely been fun. I would love to do it again next year, permitting.
Permitting. I definitely enjoyed it. I can tell you that I had a ton of fun with the randomization. Like, that's right up my alley. And I love that it gets the creative juices going, like, and I love sometimes when you get those weird combinations, like the Devil High dance, and it's like, what are we going to do? And it really gets your creativity going and flowing, and I dig that. So
I do too, and I feel like just the fact that we were premiering these each week, it was something to look forward to, and definitely got me into the Halloween spirit at the time. And I feel like we both had a love for B movies. We both had a love for this type of genre, and the fact that B movies encompass a lot of genres, you can really do anything at this point.
Science fiction, fantasy, horror, contemporary, historical, like where monsters, exploitation, possession, religious horror, like everything's in this cauldron of B movie fun.
The world is your oyster. I mean, it's basically the power of imagination at work, and I always feel like it's definitely something you need to keep going, keep making more challenges to yourself. There were things in these I didn't even think of before, and then I thought, well, combined with other things, oh my God, the possibilities are limitless.
Yeah.
To the point that you really could, create stories out of thin air.
Pretty much.
And that's pretty much what we did with this.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to some future entries. We'll see how more dice rolls we can conjure up, more weird scenarios. And
I've already been getting some feedback from some friends who are like, you need to add this on the list and that, and I'm like, I'll throw it on there.
Folks, if you have any others, leave them in the comments below.
Yep.
All right.
So, any other last little closing thoughts or anything?
Mostly. Oh, I did. Once we show the actual full posters, I ended up coming up with fake credits and stuff like that.
You did, yes.
Each one is a clue to a certain B movie that if you get it, props to you.
Throw them in the comments, folks. So where can they find all these images? Like, where can they find your images?
So if you look on 819 Comics on Facebook or Instagram, I have posted each one of my images and your images in a marquee. Yep. And there you'll be seeing updates on images, like color versions. We'll probably be having these for sale at some point. And any other ideas you have, any scenarios you ever thought that may never make a movie but make a great poster.
Yep.
Feel free to drop them in.
So we'll throw them in the doodly doo down below. That's at 819 Comics 819. And you know me, I'm at Colin Richards Art on Instagram. So give us a follow, drop us a line, and stay tuned because hopefully we got more of these coming your way. So until then, I'm Colin.
I'm Nathan.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.